Hi, it's about 5:30 in the morning. I woke up maybe half an hour ago. Priscilla's sleeping or almost asleep, tossing and turning. I've never met anyone who tossed and turned so much. Now it's even worse because she can't find a comfortable position to lay in. She lays on her back. Her jaw hurts. She's got some problems with her jaw joints. She has trouble talking to me when she's laying down, facing up. She lays on her side. Her arm hurts if he lays on her stomach. I think her neck hurts. Yesterday her whole arm was hurting for a while with sharp pains. Okay, let's just go over the notes. First thing I wrote was I feel bad about LP, which stands for Lily Pad, who wrote the other day in her journal that something like she didn't feel very cared about by me because I didn't reply to her email. So I feel bad about that. Next I wrote divine relationship with God and the divine. What that means is I was thinking about something that I read last night, which I'm going to read to you here if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. This is, I'll give you the guy's name later, but he's a guy that is very much into New Age spirituality. And he says, we find meaning in sincere loving relationships in which we transcend our fears and alienation and open our hearts to others unconditionally. That sounds okay so far. Then he says, these people give us a reason to live, and this is why the departure from them is so painful. Okay, that sounds fair enough, although I'm a little bit skeptical about the way he says why departure from them is so painful. Because he could be meaning that when we die and we leave our bodies, because he obviously believes in the soul, since he's a New Age type person, then somehow the soul is still feeling pain after he leaves his body or something. But anyhow, here's the important thing I wanted to read. Then next he says, our ultimate relationship, however, will be with the divine, and he has divine capitalized. Now I have a problem with that, and first I want to say that it reminds me of a guy who was, first he was a PhD in physics or biology or something, some kind of science in Australia. He had 4 children who ended up all being screwed up pretty much. He had a very New Age wife who was into giving massages and energy balancing and all the New Age stuff. They ended up getting divorced later after I knew them. And I stayed with the family for a while, on and off, when I was living in Australia. And at one point I told him I was worried about his relationship with his daughters. He had 4 daughters. And he looked at me and he said, Steve, my relationship with God is more important than my relationship with my family. So I realized this is what the problem is. One of the problems I have with people who call themselves spirituality and who preach spirituality and talk about the divine and God and the relationship with God and the divine is that our emotional needs, our human needs, are, as Eric Fromm called them, our psychic needs, as he called them, need to be filled by other human beings primarily. And when they are not filled by other human beings, we are in intense pain, and then we start looking for ways to stop our pain. And religion and spirituality and belief in things like the divine and other things, which I'm going to talk about in a minute later, which is communicating with the dead and afterlives and past lives and future lives, etc., and souls. All those things then are substitutes for the relationships, let's say the loving, fulfilling, meaningful relationships that we don't have with other living human beings. Now that leads me to something that I was reading on Yvonne Perry's website. Another New Age, very spiritual type person. I've been trying to email her. I've tried 2 different email addresses, and so far they've both come back to me, so I don't know what's happened to her. But anyhow, she seems like she was originally, like so many people, a sensitive, intelligent child who was then later abused. She, to her credit, talks quite a bit about how she was abused by religion in the United States, in the southern United States. I think she was raised as a Baptist. But anyhow, I'm going to stop this recording because it's getting long to edit, and I'll make another one as part 2 for today.